has to do any of this task, we have to write good prompts. So how to write good prompts? So some of the examples. Summarize the following article in one paragraph, focusing on the key findings and give your article here. So here summarization task, benefits from specific length. Here we are mentioning it as one paragraph and focus is key findings. Okay. The next example, translate the following French paragraph to English while maintaining the formal tone, and you have to give your text in the French here. So here we are specifying both the target language and the tone of the email. The tone of the email is formal. Okay. The next example is sentiment analysis. So here in the sentiment analysis, it is determining if the sentiment expressed in the following review is positive, neutral or negative. And we have to give our input text here. So here you are clearly stating the desired outcome. The desired outcome is only 3, right? Either it could be positive, neutral or negative, which will help us to classify our sentiment. Next is text classification. Now here classify each sentence into the following categories. Whether it could be a complaint, it could be a request or it could be a price. And we can give all the list of sentences. Now in this prompt, you are providing the categories in advance, guiding the LLM to apply a classification approach. So whatever sentences it will give, your LLM will classify that into a complaint or a request or a price. Now paraphrasing, the prompt is rewrite the following sentences to be more concise while keeping the original meaning. So what it will do, this prompt will clarify. In this basically we are clarifying the style, it should be concise, and the constraint, it should have the same meaning. So these are some of the examples how to write better prompts. Now let us take a little step back and let us discuss few more things. Now till now we are discussing, okay, prompt will help us to generate content by the LLM, right? Now here, now let us understand the basic task of a LLM. You know, the basic task of a LLM is to perform something called as text continuation. Okay, so now what does that mean? Let's say if we give a sequence of words, they predict the next word. How? By making whatever word make sense, it will predict that particular word. For example, let's say I provide the following prompt to LLM. Let's say Newton's third law of motion says that. Okay, let me take open a ChatGPT and let me show you that. Now even before we go there, let me type in here, let's say Newton's third. So when I say third, you see it is continuing the text with another word law. Let's say if I give law, you see it is showing off. You see here it is law images, law formula, law examples. So it is giving multiple options. Now which word it will guess? This will guess the most relevant, or it will guess the word which makes more sense. Okay. Now let's say, let me go back there. Say Newton's third law of motion. So basically it it has already taken Newton's third law states. Okay, now when I went to Google also, it is trying to guess the next word based on what sense it is making. Okay, now let's say if I give this statement, okay, now how it is actually guessing the correct word. Now what happens is that, now let's say if I give the statement like this, Newton's third law of motion says that. So now here it has to guess the next word. So now what it will do is that it will try to guess what all words could be after that. Let's say it is guessing, it is thinking word object. Okay, let's say word fur. Let's say it is guessing all the words that could be possible. Let's say bodies, or let's say opposite. Okay, now for each of these words, right, let's say these are words, for these each of these words it will give a probability score. Now let's say for object could be 3.6 probability, for let's say 4.8 probability, bodies let's say 3.4 probability, opposite 2.4 probability. So the probability of being fur is higher. Okay, so then what it will do, it will guess the word fur. So Newton's third law of motion says that fur. What will be the next word? Again, for the next word, again it will prepare the list of words, possible words. Let's say again the list of a possible word could be object, or else it could be every, or else it could be body, or else it could be force. Now it will give a probability score for every word. Let's say it is giving a probability score 3.2 here, let's say 4.4, 3.1, 2.4. Now what is the probability? So let's say 4.4 is the highest probability, then the next word would be every. So Newton's third law of motion says that for every. So similarly it will keep on generating the, or it will keep on performing the text continuation. Now given the sequence of the word, now how it is guessing these are the words? Because our LLM is trained on billions of words of human written websites or books, etc. So it will compute the probabilities of various words appearing in the next word and simply choose one word with a high enough probability. Okay, that is how it will do the test computation. So what is there in that LLM? ChatGPT LLM, there are millions and billions of words which is already there, that is there in some websites or maybe encyclopedia, etc., etc. There are, all the words are there. So now when we give the prompt, right, write a poem for me, so what it is doing internally, with the help of this, all those billions of combinations, it is trying to guess, okay, what should be next appropriate word. It will take a list of some 10 words, and for those 10 words it will give a probability score. If this is the word that I'm going to guess, how appropriate it is. So whichever word gets the more probability, it will give the next word as that particular word. So that means when we just give some prompt, it is generating hundreds of words, right? That means for every word, this processing will happen. That is the reason for LLMs, right? We compute by using something called as GPUs rather than CPUs, because it requires huge processing power. Okay, able to understand this? How the next word is going to guess? Yes? Okay, now we understood how it is going to compute for, how it is going to compute every, that is how it will finish the sentence. This is the actual work of, or you can say this is the actual basic task of a LLM.